realised, looking at my dad, that I'm probably not going to grow to the biggest of blokes. It has the capacity to fill 20,000. You're playing on Sky Sports. Yeah. Especially with those matches, your adrenaline's really pumping.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention? We'll be shortly starting the podcast, which has more viewers in the room right now than it ever will on YouTube, which is currently 0.
Cool. Jamie, introduce yourself.
Okay, so my name's Jamie Dunk. I'm a Scotland under-19 cricketer, and I play for Leicestershire under-18s as well.
Sure. Cool.
Yeah.
Do you want to introduce yourself as well while you're here?
Yeah, I'm Charlie. I am the NITE Podcast cricket expert. And I'm here to help Jacob out because he knows nothing about sport. So
yeah, true. So, Jamie, I want to start with cricket straight away. How did you get into cricket?
So I sort of started playing cricket in the back garden from about 3 or 4 years old, taking up the club, my local club, from about 4 or 5 years old, and then started sort of playing hardball matches from the age of 8, and got involved in the county system from the age of 9, and that's probably when I've sort of started thinking about wanting to be a professional cricketer.
And have you always, what's been your role on the pitch? Have you been a batsman, bowler?
I actually started off as a bowler. When I was 9, I started off as a bowler, and then they realised, looking at my dad, that I'm probably not going to grow to the biggest of blokes, which is probably with my height.
Does he play cricket as well?
No. He's just. He's 5'6".
Okay.
So they probably looked at him and was like, he's not probably going to be much of a fast bowler, so we'll stick him in to open the batting.
But you're pretty rapid though. Like, how quickly do you bowl?
Oh, I actually changed from seam to spin. Because yeah.
So what does that mean? Just
so like, I try and spin the ball, so bowl it like a lot slower.
But harder to hit.
Easier to hit.
Could be easier to hit, yeah. But yeah, just trying to switch to that at the minute because I've just not quite got the pace to move on to the next level with my seam bowling. So that's why I made that decision.
But you're a batsman.
But yeah, I'm a batsman.
It doesn't
matter. I don't get a bowl anyway, really.
What number are you on the bowling list?
I reckon I could put myself in that World Cup team. I reckon could put myself in at 8.
8. That's not that bad.
Well, our keeper did bowl in one of the games, which
shows what's going on.
Yeah.
But I guess as a spinner, you've got more chance of getting more overs now. The stamina's, not.
Yeah, definitely. That was also one of the reasons as well. Basically preventing any possible injuries.
What? World Cup. You mentioned the World Cup in there. What is going on with that? Well, do you want to talk a bit about that?
Yeah. So that journey sort of started last August when we went to the World Cup qualifiers. Played I think 4 games in Netherlands. Spent 10 days in the Netherlands with our team. We qualified. We won all our matches. Went pretty well. And then we had a winter preparing. Partly in Scotland, indoors, and then I worked with Leicestershire as well, prepping for that World Cup. But it was a good month. We spent a good month out there. Had 2 weeks to acclimatise to the conditions in South Africa.
Just a little holiday out in South Africa.
Yeah, well, nice. it was pretty nice to be fair. Whole month, and then yeah, we got to the World Cup main event really, and we played 4 games out there against some pretty good teams.
Yeah.
What's the match day preparation?
So to be fair, we had to wake up quite early for those games. They started at I think 10 o'clock. So sort of get up at 7.
They're ODIs, right? So full days.
Full days of cricket. So you sort of arrive at the ground about 8:30, 8 o'clock. And then you get there, get changed, get your spikes on, have a look at the pitch, do some stretches, and then get into your sort of like, call it pre-prep. So you like have a few hits before the match, and then you get together as a team at sort of 9 o'clock, do some sprints, do some different warm-ups, and then just sort of wait for the toss at 9:30 to see what happens, and then match will start at 10. But yeah,
Is it a tough day? Like a long day?
Yeah, it is quite a long day, but I think especially with those matches, your adrenaline's really pumping.
Yeah.
I mean, you're playing at a stadium it has the capacity to fill 20,000. You're playing on Sky Sports.
Yeah. It's not bad.
Yeah, it's quite a big thing for all the individuals in the team who haven't actually played anything like that before. I think for the South Africa game, we had about 3,000 fans there.
Is that can you feel the pressure, or is it just like another match?
How does it improve your performance?
Yeah, I definitely reckon it gets you up for it. It gets you sort of you're definitely your awareness is definitely heightened for the game. But I mean, we've got some good advice from it, just to sort of take it all in, and realise that when you actually go out there in the middle, might feel a little bit uncomfortable, but just got to sort of simplify your thoughts. And by that time, like you knew what you were doing really, in terms of your plan and how your approach to the games. But yeah, it was exciting. I was buzzing the whole day, every time.
I've got a question about your batting kind of right. So, have you got any kind of superstitions before you go on that pitch? I know some people, if you touch their bats, they think I'm gonna get a golden duck. Have you got any? Because obviously under-19 World Cup.
Try not to keep too many superstitions, or distractions. Have a little routine before I go out. Sort of like little fist bump of your opening partner, and then similar to Joe Root in terms of the way he like sort of plays a few like shadow batting shots, and just like runs out, get the blood pumping in the legs. But yeah, I try to keep it fairly simple. Not worry about too much.
That routine, have you learned that off any kind of specific player? Have you got any idol players who?
I'd say maybe Kane Williamson from New Zealand. He's he's one of the best batters in the world at the minute, and has been for a long time, and probably have the same, basically very similar kit to him as well, which which is,
do you know who Kane Williamson is?
yeah. I'm just nodding. I'm just nodding.
Smile.
So at the same time, it's a little bit more of a personal question. You're also trying to do your A-level mocks.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
So I came back from my month in South Africa. I had a great month. Came back and realised that I had to do my mocks. So I had
kind of ruins the mood.
Yeah. So I've just gone through a relatively tough period of doing my mocks, going through normal timetable, and then doing my mocks, a couple after school, a couple before school, a few going through lunchtime. But I think I need to get that done, manage the two.
Well, that's kind of the reason I ask. It's like, what's the almost like home cricket balance or like work cricket balance? What does that look like for you?
I mean, I think it's fairly manageable because I just do one sport at the minute. I think a lot of people do more than one sport, so it probably evens out. But in the cricket season, it's quite tough because it does take up a lot of time. But I think the main thing is just sort of trying to balance it and trying to do most of the work when around the cricket matches and plan around that. But that's how I try and do it.
Yeah. What's your plan for when you're done with school then? Sixth form done.
So my plan is go out to Australia next year.
Very nice.
Go to Sydney for a winter, work on my cricket. I mean, it also depends. I have a chance of getting a contract with Leicestershire come September. So that's what I'd be aiming for in terms of my sort of short-term goals and goals for this upcoming season, and see how that goes. But then I want to look to make the main Scotland squad within the next 2 years as well, and then go to uni in a couple winters time as well when I come back from Australia.
Plans for uni? Any specific unis or subjects you want to study?
So I've got applications for business management and marketing, and I've applied for Durham, Loughborough, Cardiff Met, and Oxford Brookes.
No Notts Trent in there. No Notts Trent.
But Luff was probably the best choice in there.
For you as well.
Yeah, for you.
Very sporty.
Yeah, it does look a very good university, but I've obviously got to weigh up the other universities as well.
Yeah.
Cardiff's quite good as well.
For cricket or just
yeah, for cricket and generally as well.
Yeah.
Both quite good.
So why is it that you play for Scotland when you live in England? And I assume you've lived in England for a while.
Yeah. So I have lived in England for all my life.
Yeah.
But my mum and all of her side of her family is Scottish, so I go up there relatively regularly. I mean, the idea of me playing for Scotland sort of came about in lockdown, during COVID time, when I realised I could actually go and play for Scotland, and I did some trial games for under 15 side, played some like regional matches, did really well. And then I actually captained the under 15 side that year. But yeah, it's been a really good experience with Scotland, to be honest.
Do you only ever go up there to play, or do you ever train?
Yeah. I mean, this winter I think I would have trained. Must have been up there for about 3, 4, maybe 5 training camps.
Oh, yeah, okay. Is that long as well? Having to drive all the way up there?
Yeah, I mean, I've got to train a few times, but it's not too bad. Stay with a bit of family.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And how do you find? Obviously you're playing for Scotland, but you're living in England. How do you find the bonding between the players and people in your team? How does that work? With you don't see each other as often, and it's quite structured when you do see each other.
Yeah.
How has that been?
To be fair, the matches we've played over the years, I mean, a lot of those boys have played since under 15, so got to know them quite well. And then a lot of the matches that we did play when we were younger, we'd go on like a 3-day trip. So it's almost like loads of mini tours every time we play a match. So I mean, definitely bonded well through there. And then also we had that 10-day tour in Netherlands, which was really good for our group. And then we also have a few guys from down south as well. I think 4 guys from a 19 squad that school down south. So I mean to be fair, it's quite good. People do mimic a few of our accents, and we mimic a few of their accents, especially.
Can we get a little Scottish accent right now?
So Logan Briggs from East Fife, he's got a very strong accent, and we've got "Hey Brigo."
One more time.
Ball the arm ball.
That's worth clipping. That's going to be straight to short. Yeah, definitely.
So with these international tours you're doing, this might be a bit of a personal question, but how does the money work? Like, are the club paying for it? Are you paying for it?
So it's all covered for by
all funded.
By Scotland and then the ICC.
It's not bad. Is
yeah,
it?
and then we get money for meals and stuff. And
what about sponsorships and bats and pads and all that stuff? How is that working? Have you got any sponsors at the moment?
Yeah, so currently I've got a sponsorship with Grey Nichols.
Nice.
So
Nice.
So I had sponsorship with them for a few years, and they've been brilliant, to be fair.
Do you have to do anything for that sponsorship, or is it just wearing their kit?
It's pretty much just wearing their kit, to be fair.
Yeah.
Just promoting their brand. Because
And what if you don't like their pads, or you don't want that bat?
Well, that-
PR's going crazy, man.
Well, that is why I'm sponsored by Grey Nichols. So
Because you love all their equipment.
Because I love their equipment. Yeah.
Okay.
it is
That's
top notch. Yeah, the best players in the world use Grey Nichols.
But you're not repping the Grey Nichols helmet, are you?
No, I'm not. Unfortunately,
Charlie, you're trying to get his sponsorship taken away,
Is-
right?
is there something-
I feel like.
I
to be
personally
fair,
liked it.
to be fair, team helmet was Missouri, so to get
You had to.
the badge on there, you had to go Missouri.
Had
So
to.
there you
I mean,
go.
you wished for better things such as the Grey Nichols helmet, which you can buy in the link in the description.
As a finally question, is there anything you would have done differently looking back in terms of your cricket career?
Well,
Well, what you've done so far. Do you know what I mean?
to be fair, it's all gone relatively well in terms of like that the World Cup was sort of the biggest stage that I've had to perform at, and
Is that your sorry to interrupt? Is that like your debut? You'd call it? think?
under 19s. It's not, because we had the qualifiers and we had a series against Ireland last year. But in terms of playing on TV, playing
World
against
stage.
big nations,
Yeah.
especially South Africa, England, West Indies, it's been the sort of highlight of my journey so far.
Mm.
And obviously, you're only 18, so you're playing the year above at international level. I mean, that's pretty insane.
Must be quite good.
Parents proud?
Yeah, definitely. There's been a lot of time gone into taking me up to Scotland and taking me to training.
Are they
But
good
yeah.
with the sidearm as well? in the
My
nets?
dad is
Yeah?
good with the sidearm. My mum is not quite so interested in the cricket side of it, but
She likes the tea in between, does she?
yeah, and she does help with traveling commitments and supporting me with my cricket. But yeah.
Cool. It's probably just about it, unless cricket expert has anything to.
Well,
To
I guess any final like a quote or something maybe, or like almost so kind of for the young cricketers who are looking to kind of expand their career path and go international like Jamie Dunk has here. What are your tips to reach that goal?
I think just keep working hard and just taking the opportunities you have, being grateful for the opportunities you have and try not to waste them so you don't regret anything. And that's the sort of motto that's what I sort of go by in terms of I try to take the opportunities that I have and just work hard. But just enjoy it as well. Just enjoy the cricket and the outcome will happen. Yeah.
There you go, yeah. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah,
Thank you
cheers.
very much. And thank you to our cricket
Yeah.
expert as well.
Been great.
There we go.
Is that Jamie Dunk out?
That's so good.